All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome. Happy Friday to all of you guys. It is the prelude to the freaking weekend. I hope you guys had a wonderful Friday. If you're, on that Monday through Friday 9 to 5 grind like me, welcome to the weekend. It's the freaking weekend. Baby about to have me some fun. We are here with another installment of the Battle History podcast. This is a man who I think needs no introduction, but we're gonna put him over like crazy. Professional Street Fighter player, wonderful streamer, just got done with a Fall Guys tournament today. He is your favorite Dalsim, my favorite Dalsim. Now, messing around with some other characters, which we're going to talk about down the line. But before we get into that, there's a couple of, just little items that I want to go over. So first and foremost, I want to take my partners at Arcade Shock. Use the code ClawDaddy to save yourself 10% off on select accessories and apparel from arcadeshock.com. Again, that's code ClawDaddy. That's my name. It's going to be a fun old time. Also, for the month of April, we are doing a subscriber giveaway. We have hit the 50 sub goal, so we will be giving away the grand prize of the Hori Fighting Stick Alpha for Xbox Series X and PC, because I know a lot of us have made that transition over to PC, CMDRJesse included. And for the second prize, we are going to be giving away a Fighting Commander Octa micro switch buttons, octagonal gate on the analog stick, and the floating D-pad. PC Master Race indeed. And you know what? Without further ado, excuse me one second, I just gotta... I muted the mic because I totally had to burp. Rather get it out now than later. Without further ado, here we go. The man, the myth, your favorite Dalsim player, CMDRJesse. Here he is. There he is.
How's it going, everybody?
What's up?
Thank
What's
you,
up,
Mike, for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. This has been in the works for ever since I started the podcast. I wanted to, save, you're like the ace in the hole, as my character E Honda would like to say, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to start, no disrespect to any of the other guests, because we've had nothing but success here, but we're going to turn over a new leaf, new time, Friday, 7:30. So everyone's going to be able to watch this podcast, and then pop off on the weekend, right? If you're a pro wrestling fan, open up a Steve Weiser, just, bang him up and do whatever. But, for the people who don't know, let the people know, who you are, what you're, what you do. I know you, but
yeah,
a little brief introduction. There it is.
Yeah, my name is CMDRJesse. I'm a professional Street Fighter 5 player. I used to represent Radiance. I'm now a free agent. I've been lately playing a couple other characters, but I'm mostly known for playing Dalsim. And I've been playing Street Fighter since 2009, Street Fighter 4, all the way up until now, Street Fighter 5.
Nice. So, was Street Fighter like your first fighting game? Was that like your first love, or did you play something else beforehand?
I think I think way back in the day when I had like Super Nintendo, I used to play Street Fighter 2 with my friends. My mom got it for me at a swap meet. I thought the box cover looked cool. I knew right away that I liked it. I just saw the graphic of Blanca just rolling at Chun-Li, and Ryu on the box, and I was like, dude, this game looks amazing. I didn't even know what it was. I just was like, this game looks sick. I need it in my life. And I'm an only child. My mom kind of spoiled me with that one. And I took it home and I grinded it out, and my friends came over and they were like, oh my god, this is awesome. And that was the first time I ever touched Street Fighter, first fighting game I ever played. And then honestly, after that, I didn't really play any fighting games for a long time until Street Fighter 4 came out years later. That's when I kind of got back into fighting. But yeah, that's the majority of my fighting game experience has just been Street Fighter.
Okay.
Yeah,
for sure. What was the console? Yeah. What was the console of choice when what you said Super Nintendo, right?
Right. Super Nintendo.
Yeah, and then did you have any other consoles growing up? Like, what were some of the other games that you played, growing up apart from Street Fighter? Because I'm sure if you're on the Super Nintendo, there's a lot of choice titles on that,
Yeah, it was an amazing system. I had, the original Mario Kart on there. I had Chrono Trigger. My cousin let me borrow Chrono Trigger, which to this day is still one of my favorite games ever.
That JRPG.
So good. The storyline, the music, the characters. It's an amazing game. So I had that. What a Star Fox, the original Star Fox I had on there. Man, so many games. Oh my god. But I'm trying to think like how many. I used to play so many games on the Super Nintendo with my friends.
Do you have Super Mario World?
I did have. You know what? I didn't really play Super Mario World, but I did play Super Mario 3 on the NES.
Okay.
I had the NES as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I did play most of the Mario games. Super Mario 2, Super Mario, the original, Super Mario 3.
Yeah.
But the NES was my first ever system.
Okay.
And then I kind of graduated into the Super Nintendo afterwards.
For sure.
But,
for sure.
Yeah, and I had them all, man. I had the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, PlayStation, PS2, PS3, Xbox One, 360. Didn't have the Dreamcast, but my cousin did, so I would go to my cousin's house and play that. Yeah, I had a lot of them. I had a lot.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, I mean,
I was all about it.
Yeah, I only had the Super Nintendo, N64, skipped a few generations, Dreamcast. No, not Dreamcast. Excuse me, GameCube. Gamecast. GameCube, and then from GameCube, I was like I got the PS2 right when the 3 came out because it was cheaper. Hit them with that Filipino tech. You get the old thing when the new one comes out, And then and then now just the current shit, and then this thing, which you're on the Master Race now too.
I know.
I followed you after. Thanks. Shout outs to Garrett, MTXWRL. Shout outs to Garrett and his roommate for helping me out. Know them, no podcast.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, I feel like honestly, during this time where all of us are indoors, can't get out like we used to, we can't meet up and play offline. Having a PC and being able to play on PC is such not only an advantage, I would say it's just such a benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Just there's so much you can do with a computer. The possibilities are kind of endless. So I think it's a pretty big upgrade. And I've noticed that through this pandemic that we've had, PC gaming has shot up.
Mm-hmm.
So many people have gotten a PC for gaming.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's that actually is a point that I make in my everyday life, in my job. Every one of these people that I talk to, I'm like, bro, all this shit works for PC. You gotta get it. You gotta get it. Sell PC, But just to kind of bring it back to that Street Fighter 2, you're known for Dhalsim now, but who were you wrecking shop with like your cousins or your friends or whoever else in like Street Fighter 2 on the cartridge and pad days?
So I mean I'm so basic, dude. I saw Ryu and I played Ryu. I knew how to throw fireballs, but I didn't really know how to DP back then. I just kind of knew how to like spam fireballs sort of, and the two-piece, the roundhouse.
Mm-hmm.
But that was my guy. And even now, like when I play ST, like sometimes when I go to Wednesday night fights, they'd have ST like side tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
I would enter for fun, like Killer Miller and her boyfriend. Yeah, I'm like, it's been so long. El Trouble,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, El Trouble and Killer Miller. They would both run ST side tournaments, and I would enter them all the time. And I would always play Ryu, and everybody was always like, "Why did you play Dhalsim in this? He's actually good." And I'm like, he plays different,
Mm-hmm.
So like, to me, like if I enter, I want to make sure that like I'm getting that nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
I want to feel like I'm back in like a kid again.
Yeah.
Sitting in on the floor,
Yeah.
playing Street Fighter, and so that's why I play Ryu.
Fun first, competition second, whereas Street Fighter 5 is probably like competition and then like fun, right? Just slightly under it.
You gotta have fun doing whatever it is you do.
Mm-hmm.
Like you gotta find the fun in whatever it is. But I guess if you're gonna be competitive, you have to kind of like consider like, okay, well, maybe this character doesn't have it in them. You gotta like look for an answer. So I try to find characters in Street Fighter that are fun and can hang in the meta and whatnot. So, Dhalsim, when I first started playing him in Street Fighter 5, I honestly had no idea if he was going to be a meta character, if he was going to be good or not, because I just saw how he looked and I was like, oh, this is a no-brainer, But I made it work, I think, So
Very much so. I mean, shit, my wife's probably going to kill me when I say this, but I remember your run in the 2019 Last Chance Qualifier. I was watching the Japanese stream while I was driving, and I remember like when you were playing, braking really hard when you went around. Because I was like looking here, and then I was like, "Oh shit, car!" Just.
I'm sorry for almost causing you guys to get.
No, don't. That's my dumbass fault, But speaking of competition and stuff, when did when did you start competing in fighting games? When did that become like a thing that you did as a hobby, first and foremost?
Yeah. The first time, like, when you say competing, do you mean like on a tournament
Like at a tournament,
level?
you're like, ah, oh, fuck
Uh,
it, it's there, let's go. Like when was that first like, I'll give it a shot? Like when did
yeah.
that thought come?
So I with Street Fighter 4, like when Street Fighter 4 came around, I hadn't played a Street Fighter game in years, a long time. And my cousin was really into Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So he would go to the arcade and play Marvel, and I would just stand there and watch, and there would be crowds, and he would play, and I would always be like mesmerized, like, wow, like there's so much going on the screen, and I would watch him do his thing. And one time he went to this place that no longer exists, but it's still has a huge place in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
It was called Family Fun Arcade, and it was in Granada Hills. And we went there, and I saw that while they had a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet on one side, on the other side they had a Street Fighter 4 cabinet. And I was like, wow, I haven't seen Street Fighter in so long, and it looks so good. Like I just saw like it had the original cast, so I like was interested, and I went and started playing. And I think like I kind of remembered how to play, and I was playing, and there was another guy there, and he was kind of like beating me. But I had played there and gone there a couple times, and I think the guy that like saw that I kept going back and trying to get better and stuff was kind of like, hey, if you're interested, there is a tournament coming up. You should come back and enter. And I was like, yeah, it'd be kind of interesting. I'd want to see how I do, and that's kind of how it all started. Is I went back there, and there was like a singles tournament, and I didn't do too bad. I honestly don't even remember how I placed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I entered one more tournament, which was a team tournament, and we ended up getting 5th place. Me and these 2 guys that I just met that day. So yeah, it was kind of a crazy story behind that one, but yeah, it was really like uplifting, and I was like, damn, I'm kind of hooked. I got kind of addicted to the competition.
So it just kind of happened. It was like serendipitous. It was just like, oh, here it is. There.
I think it was like right place, right time. Yeah, because I was just going already, and like I started playing, and I got hooked on it. I was playing at home, and I started like grinding it out. And yeah, when the guy was like, I guess he saw that I was improving and I'm wanting to get better. I think he like kind of took me under his wing a little bit, and he was like, hey man, like if you want to come back and enter a tournament, or if you're thinking about it, I'm running one. And I'm running it here, and you should come by and you should enter. And so I did. His name was Kilomax. A shout out to Sanchez, aka Sanchez, Kilomax. He was the first person to ever reach out in the community and like tell me like, hey, like we're doing tournaments here, you should come by, or just give me advice in general. He was the first person to ever give me any kind of Street Fighter advice. So yeah, man, OG, sure.
So it starts there. And then you're entering tournaments. I'm guessing like Super Arcade in that particular realm is where Wednesday Night Fights were, if I'm not mistaken. Was it Super Arcade or was it somewhere else?
I'm trying to think, because there was a couple other locations before Super Arcade. I think there was at the time when Family Fun Arcade was happening, there was also Arcade Infinity.
Mm-hmm.
And Arcade Infinity is where a lot of the players that you know now, or that have known in the past, that's where a lot of them came from. Stupendous used to go to Arcade Infinity, Sherry Genix, Filipino Man, Mike Ross, Gutex, a lot of these guys, they all used to go to Arcade Infinity. So that's kind of like, that was the place to go if you were like in the Arcadia area.
Mm-hmm.
And being from the Valley, we had Family Fun, so that was our thing. But I think Wednesday Night Fights was kind of moving locations. I remember at one point it was at the Proud Bird in LA, which is like right by the LAX, and then it was at the Hollywood Park Casino.
Oh, that's like near me. That's like,
yeah,
I could just go down there. Literally, there's like a street right up. Like I could run there if I really wanted to, and just take it all the way down on a car.
It was interesting because back in the day, like things were kind of divided. Like you had people who went to Family Fun Arcade. You had people who were going to Arcade Infinity, and then you even had some people out in like Simi Valley going to like Denjin Arcade. So you had like kind of like regions within SoCal, and then every at the time I was still just focused on like Family Fun Arcade in the Valley, and then we started to kind of venture out a little bit and go to like Wednesday night fights. Um, but at that point, I hadn't gone to like any major tournaments or anything. I was just
Mhm.
like still playing the tournaments at Family, and the people who would come to Family that were really good, that weren't necessarily there all the time, were Online Tony and Hugo 101. Those guys were really good, and they would come and they would mop us and take our lunch money and stuff.
Mhm.
But those guys were crazy good, and Shizda, shout out to Shizda.
Mhm.
You know? But yeah, man. And then I started going to Wednesday night fights a little bit, um, and yeah, that's when I started like kind of like playing new style, new people, new styles of play, and all that stuff.
Mhm.
But
So,
I think Super Arcade came later. I'm
oh,
sorry.
okay. No, you're fine.
Yeah.
So at what point did you think to yourself like, huh, I could, like, at what point were you like, "Huh, maybe I could just do this? You know what I mean? Like, do this like as
Uh,
my main thing.
yeah.
Was there a point?
Honestly, hmm I don't know. That's hard to say because I feel like for a long time, I don't know if I felt like I can just do this. Like it was just kind of like I'm very competitive in nature. Like I feel like I've always been that way since I was little. I grew up playing sports. Like I grew up playing a lot of basketball. I used to be in like the YMCA and stuff, and I would like the league every year, and I would compete, and then I would play basketball with my friends, and I would just play other games, and I was also really competitive in that. So my competitive nature, I feel like just kind of takes over. So like when I was playing Street Fighter, I just always wanted to get better, and I wanted to win. And I think the moment that I realized that, and it was pretty early on, that I feel like I can improve and hang in the competitive like atmosphere, I would say, was in that second tournament I ever entered, in that team tournament, where a friend of mine, and I don't hold it against him or anything. He was,
Mhm.
he's a cool dude, but he had promised to be on my team for a team tournament. And at the time, everybody was on SRK. There was no Discord or anything.
Mhm.
Everybody was on SRK forums. So everybody was on the forums, like figuring out who their team was going to be, and it's a three-team tournament at Family Fun Arcade. And he told me that we're going to be on a team. And then the day of, I messaged him and I was like, "Hey man, are you ready for the team tournament today?" And he was like, "Oh, Jesse, dude, by the way, I'm so sorry. I forgot to tell you, but I promised so and so that I'd be on their team." And I was like thinking like, dude, it's the day of the tournament. Everybody's been like, they've all been planning this for a while.
Mhm.
Everybody already has their team. What am I gonna do? Um, so I was just like, I was kind of crushed. I was like, man, I don't think I can play because I don't have a team anymore. And everybody shows up to the arcade, and there's like almost 100 people there. There's a lot of people, and everybody's got their teams. And I tell that guy Sanchez, Kilomax, I was like, hey man, I can't enter anymore because I don't have a team. And he was like, Jesse, don't worry, we're gonna find like 2 people for you. And these 2 brothers showed up. These 2 brothers were there, and they were like, hey, yeah, we don't have a third. And I was like, okay, like sure, I've never seen these guys in my life. And I was like, all right, sure, why not? And I just like was like, hey, do you guys, by the way, like, do you guys play on our like at the arcade usually? And they were like, no, we only play on a controller. And like back then it was just like I felt like if you didn't play on a fight stick, you were bad. You know what I mean? Like, cause like
I still
all
think
the
that.
yeah, in my mind, I was just kind of like, I'm in trouble because
Mhm.
because at the time I felt like all the best competition wasn't online. It was
At
at
the
the arcade.
arcade.
Yeah, it was at the arcade. Like it was at Arcade Infinity. It was at
Boomer.
Family Fun. So if I don't know you from Family Fun, or if I don't know you from Arcade Infinity, I'm like, I'm in trouble because there was a lot of people there that day. Like Combo Fiend was there, Combo Jack was there, Sherry was there. Dude, it was Jeremy Vicious was there, Joe Dubs was there, Online Tony, Hugo, like a lot of really good people. And I'm just thinking like, I don't think we're gonna do well at all. And so I was like, okay, this is the plan. Like right away, I was like, this is the plan. You 2 are gonna go first, and I'm gonna anchor every time. Like you just go, and that way I can watch you guys do what you do, and then I'll try to like go in and do what I do. So that's what we did. And in the very first round, I think my friend did this on purpose. He put me and the team where my friend left me
Mhm.
together. he put us in the round one together, and you know the two guys, the brothers, they went up first, and you know they tried and it was close, but they lost. First one went, lost. Second one almost won, then lost. And you know the other guys were feeling themselves, and then I went in and I swept them, reverse sweep.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember feeling like that feeling was so good that I remember thinking like, you know what, I can do this. Like if I can reverse sweep this team that was like pretty good too. Like my friend left me for like two guys who were actually pretty good. I was like, you know what, I think I can hang. You know, I think I'm better than I'm giving myself credit for. So we ended up getting 5th place in that tournament.
Dude,
out of like
sick.
25 teams. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So yeah, man, I think that was the first realization that I can get really good, or that I can like hang with good players.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like knowing that I can do this, I don't know. I don't feel like I had that moment. Like there was moments throughout like this Street Fighter path that I felt like, you know, wow, there's like money to be made here, or you know, there's something here that's sustainable. Or, but I feel like the competition more or less drove me, you know, and of course when I see like, you know, big pots and big pot bonuses, I try even harder. You know what I mean? Like I want it more, but I don't know. I guess maybe when I started seeing like more sponsors getting involved and stuff, I would say like seeing other peers in the community start to come up. You know, the Echo Foxes and the EGs. You know, and that's when I started saying like, wow, you know, organizations are interested in us. They're interested in what we're doing. They're watching us, and you know, we got something good here. So that's probably more or less when I was like, okay, maybe there's some sustainability here. Yeah.
So if I may, so who, like, what was like your first sponsor?
I mean,
if I have to make you
like,
dig through your brain.
No. I would say, I don't know, because the thing is, like, I would have said body count fighting, because you know they did, you know, like in that moment where I was at E League, you know, they were supporting me. You know, they were definitely, they had my back. You know, I was repping them for E League, and they gave me the jersey, and at one point, you know, they were like, hey man, like we just want you to represent us. And I was representing them, you know, and I was doing content creation for them, doing streams, offering advice, offering tips, going over replays and stuff, and that was a really cool time in my life. So I would say it was either that or Hori, right? You know, right after that. Yeah, so I would say either body count fighting or probably Hori. But I will say this, that like before that, I had been reached out to. Like I had people asking if I would like to represent them, but there was just either I wasn't comfortable with the situation, or I just felt like it wasn't a good fit. So I turned down some stuff prior, but I feel like it all worked out for a reason, because everybody that I've had the opportunity to work with, I'm grateful for and had a great experience with. So, yeah.
Dang, I mean, that's dang, thank you. That floored me. Now I'm usually never speechless. I'm always the talking head. But yeah, that hits me in the feels right there. But you know, kind of the, all right, circle it back. So you know, you entered a bunch of locals and this and that. What was the decision, like? When was your first major? And then what was like the decision to like, okay, let's go? When was it? What was it like? You know, because I know there's a lot, like, especially with COVID, like everyone is discovering Street Fighter V, and I feel like if they hear like what a pro has to say about going to the first tournament, it's gonna make that experience less scary. Because I'll be honest with you, I haven't entered a major yet. Evo 2020, before the world decided to screw me in my butt, and everyone for that matter, was gonna be the coming out party for the Claw Daddy, but it didn't happen because the world stopped. But what would be your advice for like the people like me, or anyone who's going to like a combo breaker or a CEO or wherever the big major tournament is? You know, what was your experience like, and based on that experience, what advice would you give? Sorry, loaded question.
No. I honestly, like, it kind of goes back to the character selection. I think it's just the most important to have fun. Like, results on a tournament should not determine how you felt about that tournament. Like, obviously, if you perform better, you're gonna have that memory with you, right? Like, oh man, I remember when I went there and I did well, and you got your homies there celebrating. It's a good feeling, you know. But you're gonna go to a tournament. You're gonna be hanging out with your friends. You're gonna make new friends. You're gonna establish connections, and you're gonna have a lot of memories. So, a lot of the tournaments I went to, I mean, I wasn't doing amazing in, you know, but especially early on, you know, like early on, I was just like kind of like going and I was playing and I was learning and I ran a ton of sets. That's another awesome thing. Like if you're going and you know you're going with the intention of like doing what you love to do, which is playing Street Fighter or playing Marvel or whatever game that you enjoy playing and hanging out with your friends. So, you know, Evo would have been pretty crazy. Like, I'm not gonna lie, dude. That being your first major, it's like the biggest one. You know, it's huge.
Yeah.
And everyone goes like around the world, so it's massive.
Well, you know me. That's that heavyweight in me, man. Just going swinging, you know. But
I respect it.
yeah.
I respect it.
What was your first though? What was the first big tournament for you?
So, I'll tell you a funny story about that first.
Please.
The first tournament. Yeah. So okay. So the night before the first tournament, right? It was Super NCR, Super NorCal Regionals 2010. The night before that tournament, me and my friend Francisco, shout out to Hellfire Francisco, and our other friend Steven, right? Which is his birthday today. That guy Steven, it's his birthday.
Happy birthday, Steven.
Yeah. The three of us were outside of talking at Family Fun Arcade. It closed at like 1 or 2 a.m. And we were just outside talking about everything under the sun, you know, just like life, just everything. And, you know, prior to that, they had told me they had planned on going to NCR and that, you know, I was like, oh, that's really cool. And they're like, yeah, you know, we're going to go. We're excited, this and that. And they told me they had a full car. They told me they had a full car. You know, unfortunately, they can't keep me around. I was like, yeah, no, don't even ask. You know, and I was like, don't even worry about it. Like, that's really cool. Like, I'm excited for you guys, you know? So then we were just outside the arcade talking, whatever, and it went all the way to like 8 a.m. We talked for like 6 hours, 7 hours straight about just random stuff, right? And I feel like we just became friends or just got closer. And in the morning, we realized what time it was, and I was like, damn, don't you guys have like NCR to go to later? And they were like, you know what? I think we got an extra room in the car. And I was like, you guys are assholes, dude. Like, you guys didn't have room earlier, now you got room. And they're like, yeah, we could make room, dude. Like, if you want to come, you can come with us, right? I was like, all right, man, sure. You know, I'll go. And that's how I ended up getting there. And then when I get there, I ended up in a team tournament with the homie Chris Fuller. His name was Destructive back then. And June the Baboon, who was a really good Ken player back in the day. We ended up in a 3-person team tournament at Super NCR, and we ended up playing on the stage, and we beat Gutex's team with Gutex, Bucktooth, and I'm forgetting who their third player was right now. It was Gutex, Bucktooth, and one other, but they were very good. It was 3 of us versus 3 of them, and I ended up closing out that win against Gutex. And I remember feeling super hyped because that was my first like major tournament.
And on stage too.
And on stage, and it was like an auditorium of people watching. It was a lot of people. So that was like super, super hype. Yeah. That was like a really good memory I have of the first tournament. Didn't do too well in the regular tournament. I got bopped by Crizzle and his Viper. But in that team tournament, that was pretty hype. And that's how I met Lamer Boy and Crack King, both from NorCal. I got to talk to them, and that's how I met them. Because they were like, man, you guys are pretty good. You guys are from where? We're like, oh, we're from the Valley, from SoCal. Oh, that's cool. And yeah, some memories, man. First tournament, and you know, it was like a great memory.
Hell yeah, man. I remember, I'd have to say one of my favorite like major, because I've only really been to Evo, but actually no, I've been to the last SoCal Regionals that was in Ontario. But I think one of my favorite major memories is with you. It's with you. Yeah. The night after Evo, I was like, bro, like, cause you know, you got that special treatment. I'll say it. I don't give a fuck. Be jealous. And I was like, bro, like, here's all of these tickets for drinks, right? I remember seeing
Oh
you and
yeah.
JD and Reiketsu High, and
Oh
and
dude,
like
yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, dude, I'm gonna build this wizard stick of Red Bull cups,
Yeah.
and it was like legit about like this. It was this big at one point. It was so
Dude, oh my
crazy.
god,
Yeah,
bro.
I mean,
I gotta say, man, Ashley and I had such a good time, dude. It was so much fun. Shout out to Reiketsu, man. Reiketsu, that guy's awesome. That guy's
hmm
awesome. Hmm.
he wore a face mask before face masks were mandatory.
Yeah. What a beast. What a beast. I think he was in regular clothes, saw it was a party, went back upstairs, came back down in the Vega cosplay, dude.
Good for
How
him.
how sick is that? Yeah, how sick is that?
Good for
Yeah.
him, man. Japanese people, man. You could say what you will about how serious they are, or whatever else, but dude, when they show out, bro, they show out.
They
It's
really
like
do.
all of the chains of society have broken, and it's crazy and everything else, you know.
Yeah, dude,
Hmm
Ray, yeah, he's awesome. I remember like during that weekend, I saw Reiketsu, and I was like, he was in the Vega cosplay, and I went up and I was like, hey, because people were taking pictures with him, so I went up and I was like, hey, Ketsu, can we take a picture? And he laughed, and I came up to him and he put the claw on my neck, and I was, it's awesome, man.
Yeah, I have a picture with him doing the mask on whatever. That's
Yeah,
I can't wait, man. Once the world opens up, like we're gonna have so many memories, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. But just to kind of segue, because you said you played Street Fighter 2 and then there was Street Fighter 4. So there's that gap in the middle where you didn't play games, and I had a gap in the middle of like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and like learning about weed and girls, that I stopped playing games, you
yeah,
know. And I know that we share a little bit of a similar hobby in like skateboarding, right?
yeah.
So
Hmm.
I mean, how was that for you? Up like when did you start, and then at one point did you like not become a skate rat anymore? Because everyone's
Yeah,
story is a little bit different. I kind of want to compare and contrast and see. We're not having a peeing contest.
yeah. No, I'm gonna be the first to admit. I'm gonna be the first to admit I wasn't very good at skating. Like I wasn't that guy who was like, the best skater in school. I knew who the two best skaters in school were. I think everyone knew. But I was passionate about it for sure. Like I think it started. I want to say it started like the summer between eighth grade and ninth grade is when I was like really going in. And to be honest, skateboarding is a big reason why I lost a lot of weight. I feel like in eighth grade, I was on the thicker side. I had a more rounder shape. Uh, and then I started skateboarding in that summer. My first board was an Element Complete from Valley Skate and Surf. I got it there. It was like a red and yellow Element board, and it was pretty sick actually. Uh, I think it had like independent trucks and Spitfire wheels. It was pretty clean, and yeah, I skateboarded. I was learning how to do 180s and shove it's in the summer,
hmm
and then yeah, I became really passionate about it. All of a sudden I started wearing like skateboarding clothing. I had like DVS shirts, and I had the shoes, and by like 10th grade, I had like 4 pairs of Costin threes.
hmm
That was like my thing, dude. The Costin threes. I had them in like 4 different colors. They were so comfortable. They were so sick. I was over here wearing LRG stuff. I had like all LRG jeans, and like I was all about it, man. I
Dang.
was
So
all
you went the fresh route. So there was
yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah,
fresh skaters and then
yeah,
the
yeah.
hesh
Well,
skaters, right?
but then, like a part of my 10th grade year, so what happened was like I went through a phase, and I feel like in high school you're trying to find yourself. You know what I mean?
I think
You're
you
trying to
still
like,
try and find yourself up
yeah, I
until
was
you're
still trying
like
to,
dead.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm going through like phases, and I used to watch a lot of skateboarding videos. That was my thing, right?
hmm
You skate, you watch skateboarding videos,
Collect the
and
VHSs, the DVDs, pending the
facts,
timing.
dude. Yeah, I still have them somewhere. I have the audio. One step
Oh
beyond.
yeah.
I know. I got the fulfill the dream, the shorties video. I have them all. But my favorite was Baker. Right. I was all about Baker. And my favorite skater was Jim Greco. For me, like I just thought this dude was the epitome of like badass. I wanted to be just like him. And I'm like, I'm what am I, 15, 16? I'm like impressionable, and I'm just like, dude, I want to be just like this, right? So I used to like rock the Like at one point, I was rocking like the leather jacket with the tight black jeans, the white dress shirt, all ripped up, and I had long ass hair, and I was just like, I had like the leather jacket with all the pins and shit, and yeah, that was my look for a while, dude. And yeah, man, that was a fun phase, and I would just skateboard and I would do that, and then once I got out of that, that's when I feel like I got a little more on the fresh side. I got on the fresh side after that. I was doing the LRG stuff, and then yeah,
I
yeah.
see. Yeah, I
Hmm.
remember it was like I was in the 6th grade.
Yeah.
I was always like the fat kid, so they called me Fat Mike growing up in high school and shit. I didn't care. I mean, it was a fact. I was a big dude, but I still had more style than everyone else. But the funny thing was, I loved the style of all of the Baker dudes, but I
Hmm.
liked the DC videos skateboarding more. It
Oh,
was
okay.
visually confusing because like
Yeah.
dressed like I should jump down a set of stairs, I would rather pop shove it nose manual on a curb.
Yeah.
So there are people
Hmm.
like that Jackie Chan meme. Like I think I'm at that. That's probably
Yeah.
what I was skateboarding, and I'd have to say like yeah, Baker 2G was one of my favorite videos too.
Hell yeah, dude.
Dustin Dollin skating to "Where Is My Mind" by the Pixies,
So
where
good.
it's like, oh my god, to this day that particular part gives me the chills. Like I'm just like, you hear that fucking guitar riff and everything else, But
So good.
in high school, did you do like you mentioned you played basketball and stuff like that? Were you like on the basketball team in high school, or did you play any
So
sports in high school?
I mean, I was playing basketball in high school, but not on the actual high school team. But what's funny is that the one team I did join in high school, at the very end, was the high school golf team. Just kind of
Golf?
random. Random, yeah. I was on my high school golf team. I think what happened was like senior year, there was like an announcement on the PA, and they were like, "Hey, we just started a golf team. We're looking for people who are interested. You don't even have to know how to play golf. If you are interested, we'll teach you how to play golf." And I was like, "Damn, like they're gonna teach people how to play golf?" And I was kind of thinking in my head, like that might be kind of cool, maybe to like learn. I mean, shit, if they're gonna teach me for free, maybe I should like check that out.
Mm-hmm.
So I went over there, and Coach Bennett was there, and it was kind of like a ragtag bunch of students. Like there was probably only like one or two people. There was two people that actually played golf, uh, and the rest of us were just like stragglers. You know what I mean? And he was kind of like, "Hey, I'll take it." So he like taught us how to play, taught us how to swing, he taught us how to play, he taught us about posture, about flexibility, everything. And it was actually I'm so glad that I did, because we got to get out of school early every Wednesday, like at 12 o'clock, and then we got to go to like sick ass country clubs to play other schools, man. Like our school, we had like the public golf course, but the private schools we all played against had some of the nicest country clubs, and we would just show up, not even matching, dude. Like we didn't even have a uniform. All of us just got polo shirts from Target or wherever it was, and we would play these like private schools, and they were just so like preppy, and they had all these like matching khakis, and like sweater over the neck, and just what I mean, like all out. And me and my friend Rocky, we would like, it was like duo tournaments, like
Mm-hmm.
we would do like partnered up and stuff. And my friend Rocky was just like a clown. The dude was hilarious, and I was like so glad that I partnered up with him, because it was just laughs the whole time. And I was like learning, and I was times. It was like one of the best decisions I ever made, in my opinion. So like it taught me how to swing, and it taught me how to play golf. And years after high school, like if my friend and I wanted to go hit the range, I can like drive it like 250 straight down the line. You know what I mean? Like so it felt good. Like going to the driving range and hitting golf balls cleanly is one of the best feelings for sure. Like
Yeah,
I'm super glad.
I'd agree. That's about the extent of me playing golf is learning how to hit a ball super far, like Happy Gilmore style, aka like run up to it and just because
Swing it.
it's all in the hips. You know what I'm saying? It's
Hmm. Thing about it is like there's so much in the movement that if you get one thing off, it sends the ball flying another
hmm
way. So you have to be fluid throughout. So like as I was like learning and like kind of getting good, like as you're going on your backswing, you realize like if you make a mistake on your backswing, it's gonna reflect when you come back down. So there's like a constant thought, like all the way up and all the way through. But when you get that thing, when you get it perfect, oh my god, such a good feeling.
Yeah, man, it's also a really good skill to have in life, because I feel like most business deals are brokered on a golf course, in a golf cart, with a cigar in your mouth and a beer in your hand. And I feel like the golf course is the only place where it's okay to drink and drive.
Yeah. No one seems to have a problem with it. Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody's riding around these little carts with these 12-pack, 24-pack in the back. Yeah.
It's the only place where you can drink and drive. I mean, so we've gotten through golf. You've played your tournament. You've popped off on stage and everything else. When Body Count Fighting came out, I mean, what was that like? Because that was pretty cool. That was a pretty sick little experiment there. You were the champion, right?
Yeah.
You had the belt. You had the fucking.
I had the
You
belt.
were. You had the. You had this. You could do this gesture. When you want the belt, you just like wrap it up, air belt your waist.
Yeah. As soon as they gave it to me, I had to throw it. Give me that. I was like, give me that. I just popped it right here. It felt good.
Hit it really hard, even though it hurts your hand. Yeah.
A little red marks, but it's okay. Worth it. Yeah. Dude, it was awesome, man. It was so sick. It was a bad matchup too, man. Dhalsim Colleen, a bad matchup, but I was super stoked to get that win over by. Yeah. And then we had the little shit talk before it. They wanted us to spice it up a little bit, And that was off the top. He said something about like, oh, West Coast right now, kind of sucking. And I was like, okay, guy. And I was like, all right, And then I had to say something. And then I think they asked me a question. And they were just like, oh, so Jesse, like, how do you feel about that? And I was like, I'm gonna take this belt to Wednesday night fights and whoop everybody's ass with it, straight up. Like, it was a good little back and forth. It was fun.
Yeah, personally, I wish that we could build up more of those sorts of events, I like those grudge matches, kind of like the one that I did between Garrett and JD, where I kind of ambushed Garrett with a good time at my house. I was like, oh, look, we have drinks, and then I told JD to come over, and then they played a first to 10.
Yeah, don't threaten them with a good time,
Yeah, Garrett says it never happened. Okay, whatever you want to say. But, speaking of playing in tournaments, this and that, like, I'd say it's like ever since 2019, or at least 14 months or 17 months. For the last 17 months, you've been streaming fairly constantly. I mean, what would you say, like, are you, like, for you, do you feel you're more of like a streamer, or you're more of like a fighting games player? Are you both? Does it have to be one or the other? I mean, because I feel like a lot of people, especially right now, with not a lot of tournaments, like, you almost have to be like you're almost like a de facto content creator, because you can't fly somewhere, go play some Street Fighter, eat Korean barbecue with your friends, come back.
Right. Yeah, the things have definitely changed. Nowadays, every tournament is online. Everything. I don't know if I would put myself in like a category necessarily. Like, I do stream, and I've been streaming a lot of different games. I feel like, for me, I know I go back to this, making sure that you're having a good time as a priority, but I feel like it is important. Like, right now, with everybody like being at home, not being able to get out, you don't want to be stuck doing something because you feel like you're obligated to do something, or you feel like people expect you to do something. Like, I feel like you got to follow your heart. You got to play what you want to play. And I have been playing a lot of Street Fighter, but I've also been playing a lot of Fall Guys. I've been having a lot of fun competing in that and playing in that. I play a little bit of Valorant with my friends. So I would say I've been doing a lot more streaming for sure. Maybe not as much competing, but another factor is that there isn't as many things to compete for. With online. Like, we have our 2 CPT events that happen in our region, and then I think we had the Blink Invitational last year, which was something that I really prepared for as well, because it had a pretty decent size prize pool for that, and it brought out a lot of really strong West Coast players. But there hasn't really been and then of course you have WNF that happens every week, but there's not a ton of events that I feel like we're all really preparing for. So I think what I've just been focusing on is just like trying to learn new characters in Street Fighter, playing sets with friends, or playing other games that I enjoy playing and streaming those also. So I would say definitely more on the streaming side, I would say.
Yeah. So what is the fascination with Fall Guys? Because I've tried it. My wife loves it. I have a lot of fun with it, but I feel like I
Yeah.
get saltier at Fall Guys than I do playing you in Street Fighter. I shit you not. I will chuck, if it weren't for my wife, like maybe sleeping half the time or her being able to
Yeah.
watch these VODs, I would break a motherfucker in half, a controller. I like turn into a toddler. I'm like, oh, I have money now, Plah! And just break the shit. But what drew you to that game? Because I know all of a sudden you're at like what, like 1,000 crowns?
So yeah, I think I'm at 940 something.
Jesus,
940.
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
something like that.
I'm
Yeah,
jealous.
but
I got 6.
but the thing is, it's a simple game, right? It's a very simple game. Like you get from point A to point B, and there's some objects around there, and once you start to memorize the path, you're just basically trying to run that path as fast as you can, and then sometimes new tech gets discovered, and you add that to your like your route, your route to the end or whatever it may be. Um, but I think it's because the fact that the game is just fairly like simple. Like okay, you get from A to B, or you just climb here. Um, a lot of people get really good at it. So then it becomes competitive because other people get good at it,
Mm-hmm.
and then you guys are racing to the end. And I think just my competitiveness gets to me, and I'm like, I know these are just little beans, but I gotta beat that bean. So
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get before that. I gotta get it before that guy, or I gotta make sure I get this crown or whatever. And it's been a lot of fun. Like just like it's a really cool game. Like for me to just chill out on. Like that's kind of what mainly it is. Like I would play it. I would play some tunes in the background, and it would just vibe. I would just chill out, play it, and I would just rack up some wins. And it feels good when you do. So I would just keep going, and then you're able to play with some friends. You guys all play together. You get to work together and get wins
Squad up.
and squad up, and and that it works pretty well online. I feel like Fall Guys works pretty well online. We play with Azaradin, and he's all the way in Singapore, and we're still able to play with him. Whereas like there's no chance I could do that in Street Fighter.
Mhm.
Like I can't run that without tossing my computer out the window. But it's a lot of fun, and I guess it gets kind of addictive. That's kind of what it is. I just kept playing and playing, and yeah, 930 something odd wins later, still grinding it out, having fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I know I'm kind of jumping subjects here, but
No, it's
with the whole with competing and going to tournaments and stuff like that, where has been like one of your favorite places that this FGC game has taken you,
oh man,
location wise? You could name
dude.
2. If you can't choose one, give me 2 and tell the people why it was awesome. I have a feeling I know what it is in the back of my head, but we'll see if I'm good at predicting things.
I mean, I think one that obviously stands to mind is probably Japan. I think Japan is. I never thought that I would actually be there and go there and experience that. I always wanted. It was like to me, it was always one of those things that like you say like one of these days I'm gonna go down to Japan and I'm gonna see this or I'm gonna do that.
That was Tokyo Game
Actually,
Show 2018, right?
Tokyo Game Show 2018. Yeah.
I did my
Um,
research.
yeah. TGS 2018. Exactly. That was right after E League had happened, and basically I just used my money from E League, booked a ticket, and went to Tokyo. That's how that happened. And the way I saw it was, I got some good advice, and it was basically saying, if you win, try to use that money to reinvest in your, believe in yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and move forward. And I was like, that's not a bad idea. So I took that prize money, you know, round trip to Tokyo, and I went with my friend, and I made more memories and added that to, so I guess the Street Fighter Five professional resume or whatever it may be, and it was an amazing experience. I feel like going there, trying out the different foods, seeing the different landmarks, meeting new people, competing with the scene over there. There's so many players that are so good,
Mm-hmm.
and I had really good matches there with ZJZ, who lost 2-1-2. It was really close. I beat him clean the first game. He came back, beat me 2-1. Funny about this, right, is that he beat me 2-1. ZJZ later on 2018 ends up in the 2018 LCQ Grand Final, gets Dank,
Mm-hmm.
and wins to go to Capcom Cup.
Yeah.
Right? Okay? So that's why I lose 2 in winners. Then I grind out in losers. I go far. I lose to Gotcha-kun 2-0. who later goes on that year to win Captain
Mm-hmm.
2018. Pretty crazy. But those are the two people I lost to there. But I was doing work before that. I was able to beat gosh, I can't. Who's the other Zangief I can't think of? Not Itazan. Kichipamu.
Ichipamu?
I beat Kichipamu, yeah,
Uh-huh.
in that bracket, and it was a really, really scary match. His Zangief is ridiculous,
Mm-hmm.
but we were able to get past that.
Not if you ask
And,
Nemo.
No,
It's
Oh,
bad.
man.
That whole Nemo like being kind of a dick to Kichipamu. Like, if you think it's funny in English, it's even funnier if you understand Japanese. Like, there
Oh my God,
are
what
no
happened?
amounts of. It's not what he's saying. It's
Yeah.
how it's being said.
Oh, okay.
It's basically, like in Spanish, like, pinche cabrón, like that kind,
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Like,
Uh-huh,
that little
uh-huh.
bit of twang, but,
Mm.
yeah, I mean, speaking of, competing and stuff like that, so Japan, where else?
I would say Japan. I think Puerto Rico was really cool. Like being on an island like that, tropical, a new climate for me. I thought that was really awesome. Obviously Vegas. I've been to Vegas before. Being in Vegas with all the homies, is an amazing time. And of course my girl, being there with her, just making memories and just an amazing time. I'm trying to think. I don't know. East Coast. I've been to Seattle a couple times. I feel like I've been all over the place. New York though. I feel like New York was awesome too. Like Brooklyn Beatdown. Oh man. Canada, Toronto. I don't know. There's just so many places.
Just everywhere. You just like, you like the act of just going somewhere and competing
I
Street
do.
Fighter, making new
I do.
friends.
I do. I miss traveling, competing. There's also that added pressure. Like when you travel far or you travel somewhere, you're spending time to get there. You definitely don't want to. You want to perform your best. You don't want to let yourself down. You don't want to let other people down. But there is that pressure. Everybody's going all the way out there. And when I went to Japan, I realized what Japanese players have to go through every time they fly out to America
Mm-hmm.
to compete in our tournaments. It really dawned on me because that was like a 13-hour flight.
Yep.
Like it was crazy long. It was like a
Mhm.
13-hour flight there, an 11-hour flight back. And I was just remember thinking like, this is kind of ridiculous. And these guys do this at least 5 times a year.
Mhm. Imagine
You know?
going to East Coast Throwdown from Japan. 11 hours to
my God.
LAX. And then if you don't get a direct flight from LAX to JFK or wherever the Newark, New Jersey, or wherever the airplane is, like,
Right.
that's almost a day. You could literally spend a day in an airplane and airport. Definitely not
Mhm.
fun. Yeah.
Not
it's,
at the time, yeah.
yeah, I would not. Yeah, I don't think I could. The only tournament for me, and if there is, like, whenever the next Evo Japan is, like, I'm gonna take 2 weeks off. I'll go. If you want to go, let's go. JD, Garrett, MTX, like we could all shack up in an Airbnb. I know good food places. You don't need to worry about language barrier. I could translate all of your interviews. It'll be a fun time. I'd probably take my wife too. She'd have fun. I'd have to take her to Disneyland though.
Yeah, dude.
That would be a mandatory. If I go to Japan with her, don't take her to Disneyland. Someone's sleeping on the couch.
I mean, shit, I even hit up Disney Sea when I was over there.
Oh, did you? Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you see the stupid bear?
The bear?
Duffy the Disney bear?
No, I didn't see Duffy the Disney.
Yeah, it's like it's the weirdest thing. I could go at length at this, but basically, like in Japan, in like US, it's like Mickey, Minnie Mouse, Donald Duck, Daisy Duck. In Japan, it's Duffy the Disney bear, then Mickey Mouse, then Minnie Mouse. I have no idea who the hell Duffy is. He's just a bear. I shit you not. Google it later. Duffy the Disney bear.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
You know.
I didn't see Duffy, but I did see a lot of other cool things when I was there. They have like different flavored popcorn stands spread out across Disney Sea, which I thought was really sick. Like,
Do they have
you
churros in
can't
Disney Sea?
I didn't see any churros.
Ah,
I didn't
fail.
see any churros, no. But they do have like ice cream sandwiches that are like special there that they have. Like really special matcha ice cream sandwiches, and then they have like different flavored popcorn stands. I thought it was pretty dope. I thought it was pretty cool actually. But yeah, it was interesting. It was pretty cool. The park is a lot smaller. I will say that. It's so much smaller than Disneyland. But it was a good time. Yeah.
What was like one of your favorite things eating out there in Japan?
Ramen.
Ramen?
Easily.
All
Easily.
right.
No question. No question. Yeah,
All
no
right.
question.
Did you happen to eat Yoshinoya out there too?
I did. I
Okay.
did. Okay, so I went to Yoshinoya because I felt like I had to try it.
Yes. Yes.
It was ridiculously good.
Right?
It was so good. It
Get
was
the
so
little,
good.
put your coins in. You get the little paper ticket. You give the little paper ticket to the dude. Boom, bowl of rice and meat.
And the bowl, glass.
Mm-hmm.
Glass bowl with your Yoshinoya.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, dude, this is next level. This is next level. And then I got the chopsticks, dude. I went to town. So good.
Looking like Son Goku.
Yeah. Dude, it was bomb. I mean, Yoshinoya out there was bomb. I had McDonald's out there. They had like a mega bacon cheeseburger. I'd never seen that before.
Mm-hmm.
It was delicious. And then yeah, we went in on ramen. Yeah, it was so good, man. It was so good. Oh my gosh.
Nice.
I really want to go back for the ramen. To be honest, that's that's what I miss the most.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the thing I miss the most from Japan.
I feel you. I feel you.
It
If
so
it would be like family, and then food. Like not like maybe in the same tier for me. Like
yeah.
I haven't seen my like I haven't shit. I think it's been like 9 years since I haven't been there because Facebook told me, hey, remember this 9 years ago? I'm like, holy shit, it's been that long since I've been to Japan. Like I'm fucking up, but
you gotta go, man. When things get better,
you
gotta
gotta go. When
man.
things get better, I gotta take the wife. We gotta go to Disneyland and Hello Kitty Land, and then visit the family and stuff like that.
That's sick. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what else is good too?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. Please.
Do you know the like the alleyway with all the little pop-up shops? Little like they have like basically it's like a little like stand, and they have like maybe like 5 or 6 chairs surrounding it, and it's just like this little area, and they got a grill, and they have the skewers.
Yeah, like a little
meat skewer?
yakitori.
Yes,
Yeah,
dude.
the outside
yakitori.
of the well, they're all over the place. But are you talking about like it looks like a dude can drag the little thing?
It's
Like it looks like a little cart.
Forgive me for saying this.
No.
I don't know if it's true, but I think it's called Piss Alley or something like that. Like it's kind of like an alley. I think they call it Piss Alley because it looks like you just go out there and you're drinking so much you go out there and you pee. But it's just like this long alley, and you can walk through it, and it has all those stands, and you can just like look for a place and just sit, and they have the yakitori, the skewers, dude. Oh my god, bro, so good. I think it might have been. I'm not sure if it was in Asakusa.
Asakusa actually, I think Asakusa is it. I've been to Asakusa.
Asakusa?
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
No, you're cool. I
Yeah.
pronounce, dude. I say it that way, ironically, to piss off other Japanese people. So deal with it. Yeah, it's that alleyway is close to it's the same, probably a train station you got off to see the big red thing. If you saw the big red bell, and on the one side there's like the thunder god, and on the other side there's the wind god. You see it in every like travel channel Japan, and like they do the fucking pan in with the big gate and the red bell. That's Asakusa. Yeah, that's like spring break for Japanese girls. Like
that's what they told me.
Yeah,
they were like, if you're a tourist, you go to Asakusa.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, my mom's worst friend. She calls her best friend her worst friend from college. Actually, I met her there with her husband, and then I went drinking with my mom's college friends. Last time I went to Japan. It was odd, but it was kind of fun, because like I have this bond with you, because it's like I'm like my mom's son, and you guys all seen her when she was like, oh, your mom. I'm not gonna say nothing right now because if my mom sees this shit, like some good stories,
Dude, yeah, Francisco and I have a sick story up from Asakusa. Like we were, I mean, it's not a bad one. It was just an awesome one. We were at like a bar, like a shot bar, where they only give you shots, right? And we're like, all right, this is cool, but like maybe we should go somewhere else and like see what else is out around here. And we were taking our shots, and we were about to leave because it was a little slow. And out of nowhere, like the Japanese rugby team comes in, like part of like the actual national like Japanese rugby league. One of the teams comes in, just just barnstorms the place, and there's like 20 of them, and these guys are massive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like from all over the world,
There's
like
probably
New
like some
Zealand,
Samoan
Australia,
dudes, New Zealand dudes.
Samoan dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's a
They're
New
like,
Zealand
these
guy, an
guys look
Australian
like they can
guy,
drink.
Britain guy. Yeah, big dudes, right? Big dudes. And they just come in and they just run the place, right? They just run the place. They're loud. They're just running the place, and we're like, "What the hell's going on?" Right? And they sit like right next to where Cisco and I are sitting, and these guys are like, "Oi, mate! Hi, what's going on? How you doing? Look at you! Oh, you're a big fella, eh?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I guess so." They're like, "You play rugby or what? Am I gonna see you on the field? Am I gonna see you on the pitch?" And I'm like, "No, no, 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 no. I'm not playing. I don't play." They're like, "What are you guys doing out here? You guys don't look like you're from." And I was like, "No, we're not from here." And they're like, "Oh, you guys, what are you guys here for?" And we're like, "Oh, we're here for like hunting tournament." "Oh, all right. So you're a couple of competitors just like us, huh?" We're like, maybe, I guess, kind of." And they're like, "Well, we just got off a win. We're so and so, like we're team so and so." And then they're like, "Oh, hey, let's go!" Like all rowdy and obnoxious, and they ended up like buying drinks for everybody in the bar.
Yep.
Like it was super hype. Like it was really awesome, good people. Um, yeah, overall just a good time. But it was like an awesome memory to have from that place.
Some random like Australian man yelling at you and drinking. Yeah,
Yeah,
that sounds like
they
the
were
shit,
really
dude.
cool.
Yeah.
They were really cool, like really super nice, and yeah, they were just talking to us and buying everybody drinks in the bar. They had like a drum basically hanging from the bar,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the guys takes like a little mini bat and he was about to hit it, and the bartender was like, wait, if you hit that drum you have to buy everybody in the bar shots. And he was like, "Oh, okay." He's about to put the bat down and he was like, "Let's go." And he started hitting, and he just starts banging the drum, and everybody's going crazy. And then it was just like they were just buying shots.
Yeah, at some point, probably the Japanese constituents are going, "Hey, hey, hey, hey,
Yeah,
hey, hey!"
yeah.
Right? Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know how
yeah,
it goes.
yeah, that's pretty awesome. Yeah,
Hey, well,
time,
shit.
man.
So, well, I have a couple of other questions before we kind of get to the fun part at the end, because I always like to do something really fun part at the end. But what would be your advice for some of these newer like youngins trying to like kind of make their way into the streaming and competing in Street Fighter, getting sponsored kind of life? What would your best advice be in your experience, given what you've experienced?
I honestly, given what I experienced, I feel like one thing I have to say, I think what happens a lot when I'm streaming is a lot of people will come in and ask me questions about like, how do I get good? When do I see results? And honestly, it's a hard pill to swallow sometimes, because I feel like it just takes time. Like it takes time to like play, to practice, to get better, to improve, to watch replays. Like a lot of times people really want to see results right away.
Mm-hmm.
They want to play for a little bit and they want to see the rank go up, or they want to see better tournament placements, or they want to get like sponsors. And I mean, it took me a long time before I ever got sponsored or at any kind of like establishment in the community as far as like a pro player or being a strong player goes. It took a long time of just like me going, playing at home, going to tournaments, learning, improving, all everything that comes along with it. So my main thing was just to tell people that it just to be patient. I feel like what happens a lot is just people want right away.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been playing since 2009. That's more than 10 years of just Street Fighter, from 2009 Street Fighter 4 to like current day Street Fighter 5. And it's with anything in life. You put the time in, it's gonna show eventually. Anything you put your hard work in, your sweat into, your passion, your tears, all of it. I've literally put it all. Like I feel like at one point I probably was bleeding from hitting buttons too hard, or like, at one point I did shed tears, because I had something either great happen or I had a crushing loss. And I definitely was sweating in matches, or in tournaments. So I had it all. But my main thing would just be to tell people, like, just to remember to be patient, and that nothing really good having is gonna come quick.
Yeah.
Anything that's really worth having in life, especially in this, it's gonna take time. So don't get too down on yourself. Don't beat yourself up too much if it doesn't happen for you right away. Because if you really want something, if you really want it, just keep plugging away at it, and little by little, if you really put the work in, it's gonna show eventually. You're gonna have that one breakout win that'll give you the confidence that maybe might get people talking, that maybe might get people to want to play with you, and you play with those people, and then you start improving, and then it just kind of escalates,
Yeah.
snowballs. Because back then, I remember I used to feel like I just want to play with good people. That was like my main thing. It was just like I want to play with like more competition. Like I would play and I would get to a comfortable spot. Now, how do I get to a point where I can like earn the respect of like a really good player that I can play them and then learn from them, take losses, try to improve, and then get a couple wins here and there, and then it just keeps growing. Because I learned that like you got to earn people's respect. That's what was happening. Like at least back in the day. I feel like now people are maybe a little more open to playing everyone, where we're a little more open as a community. I feel like, but I remember back then I feel like it was sometimes it felt tough to break through. Like if people didn't respect you as a competitor, they wouldn't give you the time of day. You wouldn't get to play them unless you beat them in a bracket. And once you're able to get that win in a bracket, all of a sudden you earn the respect of these players. They want to play you, or that's kind of how it felt.
Yeah.
But you just want to improve. You just want to play. You want to have fun with your friends, learn. But I feel like that's my biggest advice. Is just don't beat yourself up too much.
Yeah.
It's a long grind. Yeah.
That's the one thing I will say about like having met you. Like, just when we first met, it was on like some real pretentious pretenses. I'm like, here's like I had like 4 months in the FGC, and I was like, hey, do you want to like, you want to ride with us for a little bit? And like it worked out. It all ended up working out. The Radiance thing happened, everything else. But what I will say is like you've always been someone like really nice and really easy to talk to. Like you were I shit you not, I think I was able to get on the WNF stream one time before you started running it, and that was against Tom. And I think it was just a novelty thing because we both played Vega, we both agreed to go on the stage, and like we both like were on the wall, like in Barcelona. At one point,
dude,
we were both on the wall.
Yeah.
Like, and then Chelsea was fucking like, it's illegal. I'm like, no, we gentlemen's agreement. It's okay. Go over there.
Yeah. We're both cool with it.
We're cool with it. But I will say, like, if it weren't for you when you were streaming the WNF, and like letting me get on stream, and like I still remember my first stream win was against a Urian, and that's where the face slaps were born. You remember the face slaps?
I remember.
I was intense.
I know, dude. I was like, I remember I was like watching him. Did he just slap himself? He like, this is intense. Like this is that was pretty crazy.
Yeah. So I gotta say thank you for that. And once all this shit gets better, I can't wait for everyone in the chat and me and you and just the 818 crew to just be able to like have a beer and play some fucking games with zero lag. CFN. Ono-san. Oh wait, Ono-san doesn't work there anymore, so I can't yell Ono-san anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out to Ono-san.
Yeah, thanks for all the hard work. Yeah. So, all right. So we're gonna play this or that. I always like doing some weird dumb shit at the very end. So here we go. So basically, I'm gonna tell you two things. You're gonna tell me basically one or the other. Like one of them has to go.
Oh, okay.
Like don't think too much about it. Just I want it as instinctual as possible. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Corn or flour tortillas?
Corn.
KFC or Popeyes?
Popeyes.
NorCal, SoCal?
SoCal all day. What? No question. What?
That's the reaction I was hoping for.
I feel offended that you even asked.
Hey, I'm just saying. That's part of the game. Stick or pad?
Stick.
The Baker skateboard team of early 2000s or the Flip skateboards team of the early 2000s?
Damn you! That's not fair. That's not fair. That's not fair. That's not fair. Flip had so many stacks. Okay, they had art. No.
So you gotta choose one.
Ashton Bonzi, Jeff Rowley, art. No, that's.
You got
know what? Baker hits too close. Baker hits too close to the heart.
Okay.
Jim and Reynolds, Greco and Reynolds, right here, dude. Right here. They hit too close.
Vans or Converse?
Vans.
Nike.
Converse just hurt your feet.
Okay. Nike or Adidas?
I'm gonna say Adidas because I always rocked the Adidas sweatpants, and I had the Adidas slippers back in the day. You know, the ones that had the little spring, like the little kind of like the strap. The nubs, the
Yeah.
ones with the nubs on it. Yeah, I used to rock those all the time.
Like soccer players would wear them. Like my wife's like, "Oh, I like these." I'm like, "Yeah, you played soccer."
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And my cousins used to be in like a break dancing crew, so we always used to wear like Adidas. I wasn't a breaker, but I would watch them and be amazed. So like Adidas was always around the family. So I feel like Adidas.
For sure. Knott's Berry Farm or Disneyland?
Disneyland, free.
Okay. Fly or drive?
In what context?
Fly or drive, dude. Just make the context up for yourself, man.
I'm gonna go with the drive.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the drive. Yeah.
Okay. This one's easy. This one was set up to be easy for me. But Crocs or sandals?
Crocs. Crocs for sure.
Yeah. Cause I remember that one time you almost didn't get.
I'm on the Croc gang now,
I know.
you know?
I know.
I plumb Crocs. Yeah. They're just too comfortable.
I remember that one time you almost couldn't get into an after party because of your Crocs though.
That is true. That was pretty crazy.
That was like, they're like, "Oh, this not closed-toed shoes." I'm like, "What the fuck? We don't see toes." We're all like, me and Baye were trying hella hard to like get the security to lighten up.
They were sweating me.
Yeah, I was like,
sure.
"Get the fuck out of here, bitch!"
Couldn't believe it, man. I'm like, dude, you're acting like I'm coming in here with like, some chanclas. Like, that's not the case,
Yeah.
Unreal, dude.
All right, man. Hey, this was fun. I'm really glad that we were able to do this and catch up and kind of give people a little bit of a deeper insight to who you are outside of just, oh, it's Commander Jesse, he's a pro player. Like, no, these guys are human. All of these guys that you see on Twitch and whatever, they have a story, and, you're probably going to find some parallels and stuff like that. But before we go, any shout outs you want to give, like the socials or anything like that?
Yeah.
Where can we find you?
Yeah, you can always find me on Twitter. My Twitter is at CMDRJesse. My Twitch, I do stream. I play Street Fighter a lot, obviously, and Fall Guys, and then I play a little bit stuff between the three. And then every now and then I throw in a couple other games. And I stream at twitch.tv/CMDRJesse, same thing. And yeah, I just want to give a shout out to everybody who's helped me along the way. I want to give a shout out to you, Mike, for having me on. I appreciate you. I appreciate everything that you've given to me and the opportunities that have come with them. And I'm forever grateful for you and for everyone else that's believed in me and believed in my ability to carry a name, carry the competition, or just hold it down in general. I'm extremely grateful. And I want to give a last shout out to my girl, Ashley Fruit Cup, my babe, for holding me down, being there, being supportive, and my good luck charm.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go like this. I'm waving like, "Hi, Ashley."
Yeah.
What I'll end on is, guys, esports orgs. Are you on my left or right? You're on this left. Left. Anyone who passes over on the man to my left, you're dumb. I'll say it. You're dumb. This guy's money right here. You got to get him on. This your boy. Great community leader. Always down to help you out. Just overall great dude. This a blue chip right here. I know that Commander Jesse is a blue chip, you know what I'm saying? But on that note, everybody, thank you so much for tuning into the Battle History Podcast. The VOD is going to stay on twitch.tv/thekagiwatas for the next 7 days, and we'll be having the VOD on my YouTube channel. It's a really complicated long link, so it's just click the YouTube thing on my Twitch on the About Me right there. For myself, Mr. Kagiwata, Commander Jesse, thank you so much. I will see you guys later. Have a wonderful weekend. Peace out.